Hello world and welcome to World's End Tarot. Today I'm bringing us a general reading for the messages that Spirit wants to bring us right now in this sizzling heat of summer over here in the UK. We're currently in a heat wave and there is a lot of energy in the atmosphere around where I'm filming right now. I live close to the coastline and I can hear all these people coming to the beach to enjoy the weather, and it just felt like a really positive day to do a reading and ask Spirit what messages are coming up for us during the summertime. So we're going to pick from my trusty Enchanted Blossoms, and then I'm going to add a gem to each of those cards, and I would like you to let yourself feel the energy that you're drawn towards. That will be the reading for you. So let's pick a card for the amethyst, which I have here. Really small, beautiful little gem. My little amethyst. I feel like that's coming through there. And another one for our citrine, please. Yeah. Oh, okay. And then this one was for Howlite. And for our carnelian. Thank you. Okay. So let's have a look at what we have, a little closer inspection. For the amethyst, as you can see here, you have affection with the rose. Absolutely beautiful card. Beautiful blues and oranges coming through there. So that's pile one. Pile two, you have the citrine, tumbled, friendly, happy little rock here. And the corresponding card to that is hope. And that is with the hawthorn plant. Then for the howlite, which is here, we have corresponding card, which is the fern and dreams. And then for pile four, we have the beautiful little carnelian, which is here. And the card for this is here, abundance. And this is with the chrysanthemum. Okay, so take your time. I will leave the timestamps in a comment or in the description box down below, and I will see you at your reading. Hello pile one, you chose the amethyst and you chose the affection card. So we are going to get into this. I'm going to place this over here. Maybe have this over here. Take this. Okay, so I am going to ask Spirit what messages do they need us to hear right now during this summer for pile one. Oh. Yeah. Messages for pile one, please. Thank you. And lastly, thank you. Okay. I'm also going to take a few of my oracle cards to correspond, so bear with whilst I pick these cards for you, pile 1. Messages, please, for pile 1. Thank you. Messages, thank you. Messages for pile 1, please, for summer. Messages for pile 1, please. Thank you. Advice for pile 1, please. So much going on in your cards, pile 1. The first thing I need to say is that there is a theme of love coming through your cards, but I do want to say, for some of you, it is possible that you're going to be having a little bit of friction in love matches in this summertime. Spirit is just wanting you to be a little bit aware that there are some things that are not what they seem, and it's not for me to say if that means that there is indication of infidelity, because it's not very strongly coming through, but there's certainly some space where a union that is romantic is coming into question. There's themes of doubt coming into your cards here. But I will also say overall, it doesn't seem to be a full-blown betrayal. It just seems to be that that's something Spirit is aware of and is commenting on. Because overall, there really doesn't seem to be more indication than a whisper that there might... It may even be that the wandering eye is yours, pile 1, and not your partner's. And this might be why it seems to be quite a subtle message coming through with this one. Because there is a theme, obviously, that we chose here of affection coming through. And the first card I picked was the Lovers, the second was Strength, and then we came a little bit more into the more complicated inner thoughts that are going on beneath the surface with the Moon, the Seven of Swords, and then coming into this with the Nine of Cups. So overall, it's a very healthy experience, I would say. It's just that in the middle here, you do seem to be having doubts, shadow work happening, and there is definitely some kind of temptation. There is a temptation here. I have to comment on it. I feel that it's coming, I think it's just as likely to be coming from you as it is possibly coming from a partner. I say that because it feels like it's something that you're in control of. And the Strength card to me here is suggesting that it's like Spirit's reminding you, if you're in a relationship that's happy right now, to remind yourself that it's good and it's healthy, if this is the case for you. If it's not, obviously ignore that advice. But if it's the case that you're happy, I think Spirit is speaking to me. They're saying you really need to look at your life and feel that gratitude, because there is going to be some temptation this summer where you might want to go into that little dream world where that other person is prettier, that other person's handsome, they're talented. You notice things about other people in a way that you may not need to, and Spirit's just kind of talking a little bit about that, not necessarily being helpful and wholesome and necessary for your long-term growth. It's sort of like a childish fantasy, not really coming from a place of healthy happiness, coming from a place of scarcity mindset, of wondering if the grass is always greener on the other side. Spoiler alert, it's not. And ultimately, really, it is a reminder that what you've got is good enough. It's also quite a brave thing to admit that what you've got is good enough. It's actually quite a radical thing to instill in yourself, because we do live in a society that encourages us to attain more, to swipe left again, and to always be looking for the next best deal, like the Black Friday budgets. So there's always something better available to us in the system that we live in. And I agree that Spirit here is talking about that being also a mindset that can come into our everyday relationships, including friendships, including love matches and marriages even. But I'm seeing boyfriend, girlfriend more than married people this is speaking to. This feels like this idea of Love Island's on the television. I'm a free, loving, young, go-getting person, and this is fun right now. And it feels very much like a sugar high, something that's not necessarily good for our soul, but feels like in the moment very sort of glamorized, kind of like playing the main character in your own movie, but it's not really quite something that's going to feed your soul. And if you are partnered happily, I just want you to be aware of that you are very lucky to be partnered happily. There's many people who would love that, and it's fine to have some affection for passing people, to admire other people's beauty or talent or whatever. But ultimately, compatibility and long-term happiness is not necessarily going to come from an affair. So let's just put it out there. There is also indication going on that you are in a place where healing is actually required. So it could even be that let's be honest, it could be that you are going to experience a breakup. And if that does happen, I'm telling you right now, even if you feel that this person was for you forever, they weren't. I can feel it that strong. If there's a breakup this summer, whether that's a love relationship or a friendship breakup, I'm telling you right now, it's supposed to happen. There's some energy going on here that is under the surface that really needs to be just rediscovered and reconnected into something that's more useful to you, pile one. And I'm seeing that partly because there's a couple of indications coming through here about healing processes being necessary. There's going to be an opportunity that's coming up where this is just a necessary way to get through it, is to concentrate on yourself, to really look inward, to do that deeper shadow work, and to just feel happier and healthier with ourselves, not needing external validation, and also not beating ourselves up about things not always going our way. It's not possible for things to always go our way, but the journey is what makes us who we are. It builds character. There's something here going on where Spirit is saying there's going to be some kind of choppy waters that you're navigating, but ultimately happiness is happening. That's what we're giving you in the long term. Please keep thinking about the long term here. You're coming... There's still this theme. Spirit really, really wants to remind you of what you've got. Spirit really wants you to be practicing some gratitude here. I think this is a way of you feeling stronger and more confident, actually. It's feeling just like really grateful for where you're at, what you've got, the type of relationships you're building, the type of home life you're building. Family is coming through here, and this is a very strong, healthy feeling. The Wizard of Self-Awareness is interesting to me as well, because I do feel like for some of you, this is a father or a grandfather figure. It's also actually an aspect that Spirit wants you to be aware of within yourself. And this Wizard of Self-Awareness is someone who is, I would describe him as like a sort of combination between the King of Wands and the King of Cups. It's somebody who's very sort of open, sees the bigger picture, can come out of a situation and see above the whole peripheral of being aware. It's a very quiet confidence, and it comes from experience, life experience. It comes from a non-judgmental place, but they are able to make judgment, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that was clear. It just feels like it's a very mature energy, and it's something that it's either existing within your family structure, and so Spirit is reminding you to use this resource to look to family support, but also it's also within you. It's something you've inherited, and it's something that you're either coming into your own, you're going to be tapping into this resource, or it's something that Spirit just wants to remind you to remember that this is something that a quality that you have that you may need during this summer. Just this idea of self-awareness, because I think this is part of the key of unlocking for some of you this little place where there's an element of fantasy living in your head. The Wizard of Self-Awareness is sort of taking us by the hand and taking us into a place that's much more practical and works a lot better for us. It sort of keeps our 2 feet on the ground. These are the themes that are coming up here. Now, whether that's you're the only person who's going to know whether this kind of figure is somebody in your life or something that you have in your own possession within your soul. So this is up to you. But ultimately, Spirit's reminding us here that this strength, this energy of strength is ultimately what's going to be leading to a secure, happy, positive experience of your life. And during this summer, you may need to actually remind yourself about that and tap into that a bit more, and look to your family for support as well, if that's something that makes sense for you in your own personal circumstance. There's such a lot of excitement for you in this as well. There's real happiness coming through. You're looking at having a really beautiful summer, and it's keeping things simple. That's what I'm seeing. It's looking at the small things, taking pleasure in the small things. The fulfillment card coming up here is another reminder for me. Some of the fulfillment is coming from things as simple as enjoying the tasty sweetness of a summer peach. If you're lucky enough to live in Georgia, you know what I'm talking about. Those peaches are unlike any other thing in the world. I love them. There's also, I think, is a sign of, maybe it's a sign of fertility or good luck in Korea. I forget now. But I know peaches are very celebrated fruits throughout the world. And this is sort of like a really beautiful example of the type of summer that you should be really tapping into for yourself. This moon energy, this intuition energy, it's not that it's a bad thing, but it's a tendency to ruminate that I'm kind of picking up on. This idea that like, you might want to take from people that things that aren't really yours, and it comes from a place of insecurity and rumination and anxiety. The moon here is actually not very useful type of energy for you to be tapping into during the summer. I'm seeing you being much more active. I'm seeing more sociability. I'm seeing you being a bit more responsible for your life. And when things aren't quite right, actually putting that a bit on the shelf, allowing yourself to grow, allowing yourself to see the bigger picture with the strength and the Wizard of Self-Awareness coming through. And ultimately, there's another message coming through here again about blessings. It's almost as if these 2 cards, the moon and blessings, are speaking to me, speaking to each other, and together they're saying, flip the story. If you want to sit and feel sorry for yourself about things that either out of your control or something that you've done yourself, Spirit is literally asking you to flip the story. What can you benefit from about these circumstances, even if they might not be the best circumstances ever? You need to do that work to see the better side of it, to be grateful for what you have. That's the big message coming through from Spirit right now. And ultimately, Spirit is ending on a high here with this advice card coming through with the moon. It is a time for healing, Spirit reminds us. Is this not focusing? Why is this not focusing, pile 1? This is very strange for me. Okay, here we go. There we go. A time for healing. Okay? Now that basically is summing up a lot of it. So regardless of what goes on here, because I can't say either way, but I have warned you either way about what this could be talking about. Ultimately, regardless, you do need some healing. It's time for you to take some responsibility for some of these wounds, because I am seeing Spirit tell me that you're actually choosing to open some of these wounds yourself. It's almost as if you're not quite comfortable being happy. If that lands with you a certain way, that's because that's the truth. So I'm asking you to have a very, very happy, healthy summer, because this is what Spirit is asking you to do. It's asking you to take responsibility for your actions and your part in responsibility in your... Oh my gosh! You'll have to forgive me. I was saying when that bell went off, that's the truth. Spirit has just answered me with the truth. So take responsibility for yourself. Look at that healing work that you know that you need to do. Take responsibility for those relationships. Stop looking on the other side for the grass is greener. It's not greener. You need to water your own lawn. And it's going to result in a really fulfilling, excitable, happy, safe, and fulfilling summer for you, pile one. So this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed that. Please remember to subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Okay, have a lovely summer. Hello, pile two, and welcome to your reading. You chose the citrine and the hope card here. Some beautiful cards. So I'm going to put this over here, and I'm going to put that here. So let's see what's going on for you, pile two. What is your summer messaging? What does Spirit need you to know? Messages for pile two, please, for their summer. Oh, these cards are loud. Thank you. Messages for pile two, please, for their summer. Thank you. Thank you. I actually feel like you need an extra one. Can I have an extra one, please? Message for pile two. Yes, thank you. Okay, let's see what we're doing here. Ooh, this is fun. Oh my. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Okay, pile two. Oh, right. Let's go into the clarity fell out there. I'm not surprised. Let's go into the oracle cards for you, pile two. Wow, okay. You're getting, these are loud cards. Okay, I'm just going to take these psychic abilities, spirit guide, and pop them away because that's just what I'm doing for you right now, but I think that's really interesting. I'll just pop them up here so yeah, I mean, this. Do you remember I just said when I was shuffling your first cards, I said these cards are really loud? This is what I meant. Spirit's like screaming right now. It's kind of insane. Let's go. Tell me more, please, about what pile two needs to be aware of for their summer. Okay. Oh my God. What is happening? Wow. Love. Focus. Change. Okay. Wow. I'm not going to have any space if you guys keep shouting. Okay, messages for pile two, please. Thank you. Okay, yes. Messages for pile two for their summer, please, Spirit. Oh, thank you. And then advice, please, a little bit. Messages, please, for pile two. Pile two, please. Thank you. Bloody hell. Right, Ghostland. And then what's he got here? Balance, spiritual, and practically be bold, make the first move. Right. Gosh, you barely have any space. Right. What is happening here, pile two? You are so noisy. Have balanced spirituality and practicality, so that makes sense if you've got that spirit card. They're just blah 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 when I first start shuffling. Fine, okay, so fine. And be bold, make the first move, which I think is really interesting. I'm just gonna have these here. You can't see quite all your cards, but we're gonna have to just go for it, pile two. Oh, right. There's so much energy here there is a massive change of pace this summer. It is going to feel very quick and very possibly chaotic, but I would lean towards maybe not necessarily really being chaotic. It might maybe appear chaotic on the surface, or emotionally chaotic and actually not physically chaotic, or it might be physically chaotic and feel very calming for you as an experience. It's almost as if there's very there's a convolution going on with messaging here. I feel like you have been kind of sitting on the edge of a decision for a really long time, and this summer feels like this is the time where this decision making comes into its own. This is finally the time when you make the decision, you start making the choices. I'm seeing like lots of parties, or at least social occasions, lots of opportunities to start connecting with people. Quite a lot of people you haven't seen for a while, I'm getting. Old friends, that's what I'm feeling. People maybe you haven't seen since a couple of years ago, for instance, or people maybe you haven't seen since school. It does feel almost as if there's a possible move from one city to another, or even just from one town to another, one house to another, one flat share to another flat share. A move in a job situation, possibly transferring, possibly changing agent or representation if you're a freelancer, possibly changing publisher if you're a novelist, possibly changing all kinds of different things. These are the sorts of things I'm seeing. It's not a bad change. It's just a very quick and intense change, and it might feel a bit overwhelming. But with this change comes a very sort of unique burst of hope and relief and optimism and creativity. New beginnings, sort of excitement. It feels like you're sort of awakening, and there's some kind of, well, yes, we're getting this here. There's an assessment of the facts of your setup happening here. I'm seeing you're coming through here as this Queen of Cups character. This is someone who is really like aware, self-aware, quite emotionally mature, someone who leads with creativity and leads with emotional intelligence, as opposed to being too stuck in the head or too intellectual. You're really sort of intuitively choosing these paths. It's almost as if you've known what to do, and suddenly this is when the next shoe drops. This is the time in the summer when you actually make that leap of change, the one that you know instinctively that I'm talking about right now. I can't put it into words because there's going to be more than one of you watching this, but you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this change. You've been thinking about this for a while. The summer is when this is happening. Partly because now I'm seeing this tower thing. It's either that you're forced to make the choice because it just becomes too fucking, sorry, I'm gonna have to beep that one out. It becomes too unavoidable for you to deal with. Something external makes that decision for you, and that you are just forced into changing route. Or you make the choice and things feel like they just collapse around you, that there's a destruction. I will say, so what, okay? Doesn't matter. It's what has to happen. That might sound a bit heartless, but ultimately it's not your responsibility if other people are affected by your choice. Your life is your life to live. You cannot live your life for other people. You cannot take responsibility for other people and their choices in their own life. But I am saying, yes, it does seem to appear that you may have been putting off this choice because you can instinctively feel that everything changes after you make this choice. And that's exciting, and at the same time, really frightening. That's what I'm seeing, okay? With this change comes a lot of hope, though. I'm seeing that it's possible that it will be making you more money. There'll be more opportunities to get more money in the future. That is the path that's coming onto. I see that you'll be having a bit more access to different types of friendships. I'm seeing that you're going to feel empowered after this choice is made and during the choice being made to actually take control of your own life in a way that you hadn't been doing before. That just starts to have a little bit more excitement about your choices, your lifestyle, your career. There are all these kinds of things that open up. It's like you open a door and there's all these different routes coming out of the door, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can go this way, I can go that way, I can go this way, I can go that way. I didn't feel like this before. Why didn't I open this door sooner? That's what's coming through here. The love card's coming through, and I'm saying, it's funny because I feel this love card. This is not relationship card, this is self-love. This is you feeling like I feel like You're starting to feel like you respect yourself more. That's what's coming through here. There's also just, I don't know, this is definitely you feeling this. It's like self-esteem kind of love coming through here. It's like you took control. It's like you got your life back on track somehow. That's what's coming up. There's a new focus coming. The change is exciting. It's an atmosphere of adventure for you. Interestingly enough, this is funny because this is coming near the end thing, and it's coming here. This tower, this card here, this Ghostlands card, this Woman of Grace card, she's below the Queen of Cups, and the Tower card here, we have Ghostlands below that. This kind of is uplifting these cards out at me even more. These two are supporting these cards for me here. Wise Woman of the Grove, it's like an inner knowledge that you are tapping into. This is how this here is. Like it's like it's a maturation of things that you already know to be the case. This is you using this inner knowledge that you have been gifted from Spirit, finally opening up and seeing things as they are, actually allowing yourself to have that inner knowledge. It's very empowering when it happens, and it's quite rare and special when it does happen too, because it's an intimidation. It can be quite intimidating to use this type of self-knowledge. Especially when it affects other people's lives or careers or whatever. So if it's even like you're having to sack somebody or going into business with somebody new, that's where this feeling of control comes. So it's like a very precious, important, powerful control, and it's not to be taken lightly. And I can see you utilizing that to your advantage, and that makes you feel very, very much more empowered about making choices as you go along in your life and making your life your own. With the Tower, this also tells me, this Ghostlands card, you've been feeling stagnant, stuck, frozen in time for a really long time. This had to happen. This breakup of this foundation. The breakup of the foundation has already happened. The circumstances were beyond your control. You were left in a sort of aspect, a feeling of just being jellied in aspect, like nothing moving, this cold, icy kind of like nothing, like just stale. Like this is where we're at right now. This is why the Tower card's coming through here. It's time to break out from this. It's time to try something new. So these cards are very much supporting these two like energies coming through here. Some really beautiful energy coming, pile 2. I'm really excited for whatever this means for you. I just want to leave you on a positive note here with the kind of advice messaging coming up here from Moonology. We have balance, spirituality, and practicality. So practicality, I think, is particularly important here, partly because we have just had such an emphasis in this reading. It was so quick, it was so fast that I was just like blah, 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 because that's how it feels. And so I do feel like this is a reminder from Spirit, just, you know, although these messages are feeling like very much like in a sort of the tone of the Chariot, there's like Mars energy happening with this. It's very much forward, go on, you know. There is a reminder that we need to be practical. All this stuff here can't just be emotional only. It has to be practical in the sense that it works for you in a real sense, you know. And then we also have this one here, be bold, make the first move. A reminder that this does not happen on its own. You need to take control. You need to make the choices. You can no longer hide, pile 2. It is time for you to step out, make that first move, get bold, take that control out into your life and use it for what you need it to do. It's going to be a very exciting summer for you, pile 2. I wish you the best. If you enjoyed this reading, please remember to subscribe, leave a fun thumbs up or a comment. Let me know how you found this reading. I love to read your comments. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, pile 2. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what's going on in the summer for you. You chose the Howlite and the Dreams card with the fern. So let's put this over here. Let's put this over here. And let's step into your tarot cards. Let's find out for pile 3, please, what messages they need to be aware of this summer. Pile 3, please. Okay, let's see what's going on. We got the Hangman. Messages for pile 3, please, for the summer. Thank you. Thank you. What's going on? Messages for pile 3 for the summer. Thank you. You guys, you have such jumpy cards. Very nice. Okay. Let's see what else. Messages for pile 3, please, for the summer. Oh my gosh. Wow. Cute, cute. The jumpiest cards I've had so far today. Messages, please, for pile 3 for the summer. Thank you. Yep. Good. Messages for pile 3 for the summer, please. Wow, your cards are so jumpy. Messages for pile 3 for the summer, please. Okay, there you go. Curious. Messages for pile 3 from the summer. Okay. That was me being too curious. I want to go again. Right. Sensible now. Messages for pile 3, please. Messages for pile 3, please. What? You guys are confused. Messages for pile 3, please, for the summer. Messages for pile 3 for the summer, please. This is so weird. Hold on. Okay, thank you. Wow. Messages for the pile 3 for the summer. Thank you. Okay. Finally. Kind of like jumpy cards that were also kind of playing hard to get. Really interesting energy there, pile 3. Okay, let's have a look at the ladies. What are we doing here, girls? Okay, so the number one energy I was getting when I was reading this was like, it was kind of like on my shoulder the entire time. It was like this group of people need to go on holiday. I have to say that that's what it was saying. It was like, you need a break, you need to go on holiday, you need to try new things, you need to see new things and experience some new things, because you have kind of got into a place where you're feeling stagnant, and that's with good reason. It's almost as if it's hard. Okay, I don't know how to explain exactly in terms of the feeling I'm getting. This isn't something that's just like happened suddenly. It's like a really long-term problem that you've been having, pile 3, where outside circumstances have forced you to feel very, very stuck. And it's coming through in practical ways, like I'm seeing you being really mindful about money and counting the pennies and maybe not letting yourself spend anything for fun. Like there's something a little bit blocked going on with the finances, whether that's there's not enough or there's this feeling of worried about if there is not enough. There's something going on there basically where I'm seeing you feeling quite like unable to push on, and I don't feel like that's something that has been something that you've been doing. It feels very much like this is something that's been decided on by other people and like external circumstances. So I'm seeing that, and within this stuck character, let me take a sip of water. It is so hot here today. Anyway, what I am seeing with this character who is stuck here in the Hanged Man is there's a really active energy of being in your own head. This dreaming energy is coming through. It's come through twice. It was here with the card that we picked, that we felt that we wanted to go with, and it's come up twice here with the dream card again. So this is really shouting about this. You are living in your own head, partly because you had to, because physically there's something about being stuck, or possibly spiritually there's something about being stuck as well. And I see that as being very practical. And like it just is the way it is, quite homebound, not in a bad way, because you actually really do enjoy being home, and the home is something that you have managed to make into a very safe place, partly because it had to be, because if you were needing to be at home all the time, you know, because I'm not going to say it because it's all bloody obvious and everybody knows what we're talking about, you made this place like a place that was so safe and really it was a healing experience sometimes, but it was also super frustrating too. And there's both of these things in the same place. It's the same energy, but it's like balancing out between them. That's why it's a little hard for me to articulate. I hope that I'm being clear enough for you to follow me with this. Yeah, and I'm seeing I got you need to go on a holiday, like the first couple cards that came up. I don't even know why. When relaxation came up, I was like, this is confirming it. It's almost as if you can do the like you can do the staycation thing, you've done that, but it's like, I'm seeing travel here with the Page of Wands and the Ace of Wands, like together, there's just this emphasis of going, okay, you may not be able to afford something extravagant because it's just the way it is. You may not be able to go far, but Spirit is saying, see, during the summer, you need to take at least one weekend where you take yourself away from the environment that you have been in for such a long time. You need some new energy, and you need to take that from other places. You need to just experience some new things. You need to go to some shops you've never been to before, eat at a restaurant or something you've never eaten before, or go and see a coastline that you've never seen before, go on a walk you've never been in before, go in a country you've never been before, a city you've never been before, visit something you've never done, but do something you've never done before. That's what Spirit is asking you to do. I don't see something like immediately coming up with this idea of like this particular handman experience changing this summer. This is actually quite a long-term issue. For some of you, it's something as simple. I mean, I'm saying that Hanged Man can sometimes indicate a pregnancy, so that might, you know, obviously that's a long term. That's almost a year of your life where, you know, you're preparing for your life to change completely at the end of that time period. And so there's an invitation here from Spirit to actually indulge a little bit in enjoying the fact that things are not going to change so much. So you actually are able to play within those boundaries a little more than maybe ordinarily you would allow yourself to do. But it's also, I'm just seeing like you may like this to change, but Spirit's saying it's not going to change during the summer in that kind of way, and you need to take care of not becoming stagnant and frustrated because of that. That means you have to actually you need to take yourself out of your comfort zone, because unfortunately this is something that just is the way it is for the moment, but that will not always be the case. Why? Wheel of Fortune's on here at the end here. This means things are going to change, and at some point you're going to be looking back on this time right now and wishing you had taken advantage of it, okay? Again, chaos coming up here. I like this card because you need movement in your cards. I'm seeing stagnant energy through here and a yearning to get out, and then I'm seeing this chaotic card and I'm seeing relief. It's like a storm after a really long heat wave. Ha ha ha. There's a relief, there's an atmosphere that breaks. That's coming. It's not coming soon, basically, but it's coming. When it comes, it's going to feel really, really strong, really, really intense. So arguably, if any of you are actually talking about being pregnant, if that's actually something that was resonating, obviously that's something that happens at the end of this time period. So take advantage of what things are like now. If that's obviously not, for most of us, that's not going to be the case. It's going to be other types of circumstances. So for example, maybe a long period of unemployment or something along those lines, or having to live with parents for a while and save money. These types of things where you feel like I'm not getting anywhere quickly enough, I don't feel like I'm moving on, I'm worried about where I'm at. Oh my gosh, is this always going to be the way it's going to be? Spirit is saying, no, nothing is set in stone. So no, it's not. Especially next to this Wheel of Fortune card. So please take advantage of the way things are now and enjoy yourself. Sacred Pool is actually really interesting. I just want to have a little dip into the book to double check if I'm getting the same kind of messaging here that is coming through here. Yes, yeah. I mean, this is again, this idea of just dipping into the circumstances as they are now and enjoying them. This is basically what the Sacred Pool is talking about. I'm actually seeing it in a more literal sense. I would like to say, pile 3, if this idea of you needing to go on a holiday and try something new is appealing, I'm actually seeing you getting into water being part of the experience of relaxation, whether that be in a pool or in the sea. Please make sure you're safe. Don't go into reservoirs. That's really unsafe at this time of year. Because the thing is, I just want to be like, if wild swimming can be dangerous, you really need to make sure that you go swimming in places that are safe. The reason being, people dump stuff into certain places like reservoirs, and quite often if you're swimming with like clothing on, you can get yourself stuck and then drown, okay? So that's like a PSA thing of don't go swimming in places that are not safe. Only ever go swimming in places that are safe to swim in, because I do feel I can see people in jacuzzis, I can see people in swimming pools, I can see people swimming in the sea, and all kinds of, like, swimming in the river, just dipping. There's something about being close to water, getting your body into water, moving through water, just something about that. And I'm seeing that here again with Nothing is Set in Stone. It's like the moon at night by the ocean. So there is something about, the Blue Lagoon in Iceland. That's one thing I'm getting. I'm getting natural spring waters. Look it up. What about a trip to, if you're in the UK, what about Bath, going to natural, those, I've never been there before, but like that might be quite fun. There's all these types of things I'm thinking about, okay? I know I'm all over the place, pile 3. I'm just trying to articulate what's in my head, what's coming out from Spirit, and it's all quite jumbled. They're quite excited about you just doing something different. Really, that's the emphasis. It's trying to do something different, particularly swimming, if that's possible for you. Getting into the water just feels very healing. There's something about that. And it's a reminder, you need to enjoy things as they are right now. Please stop trying to worry so much. You can do things that challenge you, that introduce you to new things without spending too much money. Spirit really needs you to do that. It's time for you to stop indulging in a dream-like world, like in your own headspace, and not engaging with the world around you. This dream coming up twice is fine, but it really emphasizes to me that you're living in your head too much. Spirit really would like you to get back into your body. Okay? And this is not going to always be the way things are, so please do not feel down on yourself, and also please do not take what is good about your situation for granted. Things always change, and you need to look on the bright side of the things that, okay, you might feel a bit stagnant, things might not be going the way you're going, you might be in a period of waiting for something to happen. That is gonna come. And again, this chaos, this Wheel of Fortune, nothing set in stone. Spirit's reminding you to, whilst it's quiet, to take the time to sniff the roses, okay? That is the major message for you, pile 3. This was your reading for your summer messaging. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and please, if you did, consider subscribing, leaving a comment, or liking this video. I really enjoy getting feedback from you, and I love hearing when people respond to the messages that I'm getting and delivering. So until then, pile 3, I hope you have a lovely day in the sun. Lots of love. See you later. Hello, pile 4, and welcome to your summer reading. I am going to be looking at all kinds of stuff like going on in summer for you with Spirit. As a reminder, let's have a look at your card that you chose and the stone. You chose the card of abundance, and you chose the carnelian, which is here. It's a really beautiful card and stone. I'm just going to put this here, and then we are going to look at your tarot cards and see what is going on for you in summer. Oh my gosh. Already we have jumpers. Yes. What else is going on for pile 4, please, Spirit? Let me know. Thank you. What's going on for summer for pile 4, please? Ooh, I need one more. Okay, thank you. You see how I just ask and it jumps out? We have some unusual energies coming up here as well. Really interesting. Let's see, a little deeper in with the oracles, please. What's going on there? I felt like there was another one here. Yeah. This is interesting. Little Maltese from here. Feels secondary, but not. Let's see. Pile 4, please. Thank you. Pile 4, please. Thank you. Oh, hi. I've seen her before today. Interesting. Pile 4, you are very interesting. I have some advice for pile 4, please. Oh my. Okay, pile 4. You're kind of emo. What's going on here? I need to drink some water. Oh, okay. Right. This is so weird because the last 3 readings have been really quick and I've felt really energized as I was reading them. And I come to your pile 4, and there's a heaviness that's come into my body now. And that is really curious to me. I feel like quite a lot of your energy is coming into this feeling of there's a burden going on here and there's some upheaval that you are needing to navigate through, particularly in a career sense. Obviously this is the card coming up, but there's also this idea of forgiveness coming up, and that felt very secondary to the career. That's almost like a supporting card as opposed to an energy on its own. I feel like you're kind of, it's like you've got, you know things can be better than they are, and you are in a little bit of pain and worry about moving on from the situation you're currently at within the career sense. I didn't expect this to be a career reading, but this is what it is. So this summer, it feels like a time of you moving on from either a career itself and having a career pivot, a complete career change, going back to school, or possibly moving from your employers, or if you're self-employed, whoever you're collaborating with. There just seems to be this conflict of interest, and I don't know if, and for some of you it's actually just genuinely acrimonious. It kind of feels like you're being overworked. It feels a bit like you are unhappy emotionally. It feels like you know that there is a potential to grow elsewhere and that you can feel that it's time for you to move on. And there's just this feeling of sadness in a way as well, because it doesn't necessarily mean that it was always this. I mean, most of us don't go into a certain situation expecting it to go badly. So there's certainly some grief in the situation having ended, even though it feels like it needs to end. There's a forgiveness here being asked of you, pile 4. I think it's to forgive the situation, to forgive everybody in it, and to forgive yourself and your part in it too. I feel like you have this tendency to beat yourself up a little bit too much, That's kind of maybe the reason I'm feeling like kind of low as I'm reading this. There's also this really strong energy here, and I feel like this isn't necessarily you right now, but it's certainly a part of you. This is like a potential you here with this Queen of Cups energy. This is basically something that's felt stifled recently, and you're kind of wanting to get back to that place, to get back to that feeling of abundance, that place of feeling creative, that place of feeling like you can follow your intuition and really actually get into that stuff. Like, you feel a little blocked, I must admit. And I think that Spirit is saying to me, for those of you that are single, this upheaval is going to release something in you and make you very, very open for actually beginning to fall in love and have a very good quality relationship. But it's also the opportunity for you to start loving yourself much better. There has been some kind of emotional neglect going on in this situation. It's not nice energy, but it's also not like tragic energy. Like, I'm not worried about you, I'm just like noticing that you're tired, and that doesn't have to be the way it is. And ultimately there's a longer journey that you're setting off onto, but this is going to lead into a place where you're feeling really victorious. You're feeling like you have triumphed over something that was really quite difficult to handle. It's just you're in a place that it's like you're not going to be as overworked in this next chapter. You're going to feel like you're being challenged in the right way, and you're also going to feel like you're being noticed in the right way, that you're in a place of strength compared to where you're feeling right now. Just like more in control of your stuff. So this is a very good move for you, even if it comes with some emotional difficulty, even if it feels quite uncomfortable, and even if it feels, although it's inevitable, it still feels like there's a moment of grief and a bit of sadness. So that's really interesting to me. I also have the word wise coming up twice here. So, and solitude as well, and also this reminder that you're good enough, and forgiveness. Oh, pile 4. Oh, pile 4. I do feel like you are definitely beating yourself up for the situation at hand. If this is a career thing, or in the very least, there's something about career here. There's something about purpose here. So if you're not even in a career or whatever, it's something about purpose, about finding something that is like a vocation, even if you're not being paid for it. So regardless, certainly whatever this is, it's the thing that, yes, brings in income, but also brings in this income for yourself spiritually, that you feel like you know where you're at and that you're rewarded properly for it in a sort of spiritual sense, not just in a monetary sense. And there's a wisdom here that you're required to tap into. It's already there. You know it's already there. Spirit is needing to remind you to tap into it, partly because I think you're not really using that right now. I feel like you might be getting stuck in the minutiae of office politics somehow, or the drama of deciding to leave, and like, how on earth do you talk about that? And like, that leap feels, this Fool energy actually feels really quite interesting, because it's like, I see it as quite a positive card, but we can't ignore the fact that the Fool is stepping off into oblivion, that they are stepping off, yes, into a new chapter, but it's a leap of faith. And that's this energy. I think this is probably the reason why you've been sitting on this for such a long time, because it's quite scary going off into the unknown. But it's time, and you know that, because this wisdom that you have within you, it's there. I also think it's a reminder that possibly if you're in a lucky position to have anybody that you can use as a mentor, or someone to sound off ideas with, that you should be utilizing that. Someone that you trust, not just anybody. Probably somebody older, yes. Somebody that's been in the business that you happen to be in for longer. Just someone who has done it before too, possibly even moved careers or courses, or representation, or office, or like whichever company. Somebody like that who may have done it before may have some good advice. Obviously be careful whoever you talk to about stuff like this, especially if it's acrimonious. But this wisdom, I think it really is you. This is something inner. This is about following intuition. Pile 4, I just feel so sad in a way, because I really feel like this is where you're at potentially, and that has been stifled somehow. And there's just this feeling of not really having any intuition left over. So Spirit's sort of giving you a bit of a handhold about that and saying, no, you'll be fine. It's also suggesting you take a little bit of time on your own to resolve some of these deeper feelings. Possibly also, if after the fact that you've come away, possibly book a holiday or just some time alone to sort of process where you've been at and what that has happened. There's also a warning in here. Spirit is warning me that you will have the potential after this certain event happens to beat yourself up again. This is why I've got this sort of, don't be alone with all of your thoughts. You are good enough. You know, this is something that you had to do. It was fine. You are more than good enough. You deserve to have a happy, healthy, exciting life, and you deserve, oh my gosh, there you go. And you deserve to strive after the things that you want. And it's okay to lick your wounds after this happens, because I feel like you may feel that you do need to lick your wounds. Do that, but do not allow yourself to ruminate and go into a spiral where you're feeling very down on yourself. That is what Spirit is telling me about this. Your summer looks very eventful, but also tread carefully and look after yourself, pile 4. There's some major choices to be made here, and there's such a lot of encouragement for this being the right route. I'm just seeing that if you're feeling blocked and you need to change course, Spirit's saying don't be scared. It will feel scary. It may even feel a little bit fraught, but ultimately this in the long term is the much better choice for you, pile 4. So remember, you are good enough. This was your reading for summer, and the messages coming through from Spirit for summer, pile 4. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider subscribing, give me a like, give me a comment to let me know how you found this reading. I love reading comments. I also just want to say at the end of this video, a special shout out to all of my new subscribers. You know who you are. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Until then, bye pile 4.